Hello everybody and welcome to this week's edition of Parashat Pointers, where we delve into the weekly Parasha and we look for guidance of how to raise our children, but ultimately how to raise ourselves. This week is Parashat Hanan. We have a few sponsors. We have a dedication by me in honor of the bar mitzvah of Azriel Tzvi Klein, Mazal Tov. Also we have a Lilui nishmat, Aharon ben Esther, and a Refua Shelema for Ava but Ilana, Esther, Bezat Hashem. She should have a full Refua Shelema. This week is Parashat Hanan, but it's also known as Shabbat Nahamu or as Shabbos Nahamu. You know, there's the song Nachamu, Nachamu Ami, because that's from the Haftarah that we read this week. That be comforted, my nation. That's what the Haftarah is all around. This is the weekend of comfort. After we finish the 3 weeks, the Shabbat Av, all the pain, all the suffering, all the mourning, all the Avelut. Now we come to Shabbat Nachamu. We're comforted. And the truth of the matter is, this is the first in 7 weeks, 7 installments of Haftarot that we read after the main reading of the Torah. We read from the Navi, from the prophet, that talks about the comfort until we finally get till Rosh Hashanah. My son asked me an amazing question. He said, let me ask you, I don't understand. Yesterday was Tisha B'Av. We were mourning. We were in pain. We were crying. We were going. All of a sudden now, next week, we're comforted. But everything's the same. We don't have the Beit HaMikdash. We have the same problems. The same people are sick. The same people are hurting. I don't understand. What are we comforted about? The truth is, it's a fantastic question. And it caused me to really stop and think about what is really the answer to that question. So before we could even try to answer the question of why we're consoled, we have to understand what we really do on Tisha B'Av. We have to investigate what is the avodah, what is the process that we do on Tisha B'Av in the first place. Our rabbis teach us that any generation that does not see the rebuilding of the Beit HaMikdash, it's as if we ourselves destroyed it. When we keep Tisha B'Av, we're not commemorating a past event. We are reliving the same pain that is happening right now, right here and now. It's a fresh morning. Why? Because the issue is really what caused the pain, what caused the destruction. What are the underlying things like baseless hatred, like sinat chinam, like I just mentioned, keeping grudges, worshipping avodah zarah, money, doing the wrong thing. Those things still exist. So that's why we are where we are. Things haven't changed because we didn't change the underlying reasons for Tisha B'Av. What underpins the mourning is something that still exists here and now, today. So we don't have the Shekhinah with us in the Beit HaMikdash. That means that we're still the cause. Because it didn't get better, we're at fault. So we're mourning right now for the reason for Tisha B'Av. The rabbis also tell us we didn't keep Shabbat properly. That's one of the reasons why the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed in the Masechet Shabbat, in the Yerushalmi. It also tells us that there were the 3 cardinal sins that we did wrong: avodah zarah, shefichut damim, murder. I mean, there's tons of things that went wrong. These things still exist. We hurt people left and right, lashon hara, and it goes on and on. So that's why we mourn. So now, let's understand why we're comforted. You know what the comfort is? The comfort is that we actually care enough to work on it and to try to change it. That's comfort. So there's tangible steps that we take. We sit on the floor. We're urged to go make amends, to call someone that hurt us and tell them it's okay. Even if you don't apologize to me, I hold no hard feelings. If we hurt someone, we call and apologize them. If we did something wrong to somebody, we make a change. If we're not treating Hashem the right way, we're not saying thank you to Hashem, we try to have hakarat hatov. We work on that, and we start to make change. But there's another thing that we do. We get into the process of understanding the other person's pain and sorrow. It's called empathy. There's sympathy and then there's empathy. Sympathy is feeling bad for somebody. Empathy is actually feeling their pain and going into their shoes and trying to live through their pain. We do that on Tisha B'Av. And empathy is a very powerful thing. We contemplate the pain of a single girl that's looking to get married. We contemplate the pain of an almanah that's sitting alone. We contemplate the pain of people that are going through the loss of what happened in Surfside, Florida, and so on and so forth. We feel the empathy. So the answer to my son is that when we empathize and we feel the pain and we make changes, Hashem says, you know what? You could be a little bit consoled because at least you're dealing with the issue. You're going to the core of the problem. Rabbi Cheskel Levenstein, who is from the Mir, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, says that when Hashem created people, He put in us something amazing. Hashem is with us. It says, Imo Anochi B'Sara. Hashem is with us in our pain. So when Hashem created us, He put in our soul the ability to not only feel another person's pain, but to actually take away some of their pain by feeling their pain with them. When we have joy for someone else, when we feel happy for them, we add to their joy. Rav Matisyahu Salomon, the Mashgiach of BMG, says there's a special type of chesed that emanates only from a Jewish soul. That when we feel their pain, it's as if we're going through the same thing, and it generates well springs of blessing to the people. As parents, and this is the Parashat point, we must teach our children to empathize with others. They have to hear those words of us saying, look at this, what this person is going through. Let's feel for this other person. Is there a kid in your class who doesn't have the same things that you have? How could you feel for him? How could you help him? How could you take steps to do something for him? The Gemara says something amazing. The Gemara says that a person should never say, this is brought down in Masechet Ta'anit, Daf Yud. He should never say, I'm going to go to my own home, I'm going to eat and drink and imagine myself at peace, even when the rest of the community is hurting. But rather, he should share in the community's pain. That's what a Jew has to do. Empathy is not an extra bonus to live a moral life. It's an essential element to feeling pain, but here is where it really gets important. That's how they're going to become good fathers, husbands, co-workers, bosses, because when they deal with other people, they're going to learn how to empathize with them and to make the proper decisions. So if we don't put this into our children from now, how are they going to develop to become the people we want them to be? So if you want to know why we're consoled because we feel the pain. And just feeling the pain alone is reason to feel consoled. Shabbat Shalom.